Uh, what's going on, ladies and gentle people? So today I have Irish marsh, can't pronounce that, grass, linseed, and gum arabia. So right now I'm prepping the Irish marsh, which I have here in this container. I rinsed it off already because usually it has a little bit of sand on it. So now that I've rinsed it off, I'm just gonna kind of let it soak for a little bit. You can use any kind of water. I use essential alkaline water. That's just me. Everybody is not able to do that, and I'm definitely understanding, being on YouTube for a while, that not everybody is fortunate. But yeah, just gonna kind of let this soak maybe for a few hours, and then I'm gonna make me some Irish marsh. I used to make this a lot. That's how I got my son. And then once I found out I had a baby on the way, I stopped drinking this mess. Oh yeah, in our area it's like $2.99 US, $2.99, $2.99. This one doesn't have the price on it. This is a different brand. But yeah, just gonna have this soak for a little bit, and I'll come back once we actually start boiling down everything. So you guys can look up the benefits of Irish marsh and make your own conclusion. I do it because I like doing it, and gives me a little extra something. Alright, so ladies and good people, this is take 2. I am getting ready to put the Irish marsh in. So what I have here is just distilled water. You can also purchase, if you don't have the money, go in the kids section in the grocery store and pick up those gallons of water. Alright, no light. Okay, I was trying to write the wrong side. Alright, so take 2. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is now you have to understand the amount of water you pour in is not what you're gonna be finished with, because some of it is going to be boiled down. But I'm just adding water to it, and I'm not trying to make a ton right now because I haven't made this in a few years. Yeah, actually 6 years to be exact, because my son is 6, so probably 7 years, or 6 years 9 months, because I was drinking a lot of this Irish marsh, and that's how I got my son. And after, yeah, that kind of scared me a little bit. But yeah, it's for me, I take the health benefits of it. I mean, drinking too much of the Irish marsh is not a good thing. But every now and then it's fine. So I have that boiling. I have the Irish marsh that I had soaking. So kind of add that in there, and here's the packet here. If you can get Ocherios brand, that would be cool, because that's where I'm from, in Jamaica. So that would be awesome. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of this. So the price may vary depending on where you live. So let's add, I'm going to be adding this, and this. The reason why I call them this, because the names are pretty difficult to pronounce. Okay, so I've gotten that open. Here it is. It's almost like yeah, so you can hear the texture of it. Here, and now I've got this open here. Put that in, and have some water with the with this here, and just going to kind of stir it a little bit, make sure I get everything. I might add a little bit more. This thing here is really sticky. It's really gummy as soon as it hits hot water. So it might be a good idea to just pour it straight in the pot. So I'm not doing the whole entire bag. You have to add according to how much you're going to be making. So still have about half the bag left. Half the bag, almost half the bag of everything. So yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of put the cover on, and once I'll come check back like 3 minutes from now, and I'll stir the pot just to make sure that everything is blending properly. Alright y'all, I got the pot bubbling a little bit. Please do not let this thing boil over on your stove, because yeah, it can become a sticky mess real quick. So just stirring the pot a little bit. Yeah, get it nice. So I'm just gonna keep doing this every 3 to 4 minutes for about 45 minutes, and I'll come back once everything is boiled out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been about 15 minutes, and as you can see, I don't really have the stove on like high. It's on like medium, so that way, like I said, it doesn't boil over. But you don't want it boiling over, but you want that water at least boiling. So I've been trying to get the temperature on the fire right. Maybe it would help if I keep the pot closed for a while, but I just don't want it sticking to the pot, so I keep stirring it just to make sure that nothing sticks to the pot. And yeah, you can see some of the ingredients coming up with it. So we'll just get this thing boiled. Make sure when you stir it, you stir all the way at the bottom of the pot to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom here. So I know it's cold now. You know, a lot of car videos are not going to be coming out, especially if you're on the East Coast. You know, Northeast to be exact. You know, and how better way to get situated for the spring and summer by good nutrition for the body. So figured I'd throw this out there. From what I heard, it ups your sperm count. My personal experience, like I said, this is exactly what I was drinking when I got my son, and trust me, I was not trying. You know, I was not trying to have any kids at that time. But best thing that ever happened to me was having my son. Well, not me having my son, but my son coming into this world. But yeah, made me stay away from this Irish mash for yeah. So, gonna come back, stir it again in the next 15 minutes. You know, finish up some stuff. Put these in the refrigerator. Alright. Got this thing boiled down right. So most of the ingredients are boiled out. So what I'm going to do now is pour it into this container here. I'm going to strain it out. I want to strain it out while it's hot. Some people wait till it's cooled down so they can handle it. But I'm going to be pouring it twice. First, I'm going to strain it out. Then the next step, I'm going to pour it into the blender where I'm going to be mixing it. The reason why you want to deal with this stuff hot or warm. Alright, so I decided to let it cool down for a little bit where it's not hot. So you can see it's still gooey. Like if I put my finger in there. So kind of get the concept. The cooler it gets is the so in its natural state like it is now, it tastes like it has sodium in it. But I'm just gonna stir it a little bit and then strain it off. Just gonna grab the pot. Kinda hard to do this with one hand. Mine didn't boil it out all the way, but man, it was on the stove for a good hour or so. So I might have to come back because it's kind of hard to strain this off with one hand, but you get the concept. Alright, y'all, so I had to get a bigger container. It was a little bit more than I thought it initially was. So this is what's left of everything after I boil it down. It still has a little bit of ingredients left in there. I don't know. If you were cheap like me, you could say you could get a little bit more extra out of it. But just kind of strain this off. Put the rest in there. Let it cool for a little bit. I'm kind of a clean freak, so just clean up a little bit. I'm kind of a clean freak. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. So I'm gonna let this thing cool, and I'm gonna come back to sweeten it. And what I'm gonna be using is cinnamon. I'm gonna grate the mine. You can get it already grated. Nutmeg. I'll put them on here. Nutmeg. You hear rattling. Should have already have one. And cinnamon. I'm gonna grate those on a grater here. I used the organic vanilla extract and honey to sweeten it, and because I no longer use any form of milk, I'm going to be blending it with some walnut, because that's the most pure form of nut I can find, and some coconut oil. So I'll be back. Alright, now so I'm on the final stretch. As you can see, this thing is starting to get to a solid state. Well, not solid, but a gel-like state. So I'm going to try to work with it before it becomes gel like it is on the spoon here. So I have extras. So I'm just going to kind of get this in the blender and see if I can get this thing up and running. So I'm just going to go ahead, pour it here in the blender. This thing is starting to squat up on me. Now I'm going to get some walnut. Throw some walnut in there. And this is just how I do it. Some walnut. I'm not really measuring it too much. You see, I usually buy a whole bag, maybe like 2 or 3 pounds of it. Some of the vanilla. And because I'm unable to because I only have 2 hands and I'm unable to use another hand to I'm just gonna grate the nutmeg and the cinnamon inside there. Alright, so now I've gotten everything that I'm gonna put in there, the nutmeg, the cinnamon. Also going to add a little bit of coconut oil here. Make sure I don't spill this thing. It's quite slippery. A little bit of coconut oil. And I don't use milk, canned milk. Some people use sweetened canned milk. I use honey, so might be a little bit more on the expensive side, but this is what I use. I use it to sweeten my tea and to sweeten anything that needs sweetening. And I'm trying to to put the honey in here. So I want to do all this while it's still a little bit on the warmer side, because the honey it's a little bit difficult to dissolve in anything cold. So I don't want to do this when it's like completely cold. So put the thing on here. You put it on whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna do this about 2 more times after this and come back. Alright, now for the moment of truth. So, tastes a lot better than I remembered it. I don't know if my taste buds have changed, but I have to do the dishes. I made a lot of mess making this thing. But it tastes pretty good. It's still on the warm side, so it needs to be chilled in the refrigerator. But I don't use a ton full of honey, because I don't like my stuff really, really sweet. But it really tastes good, man. I was like, oh my, I have to go to be brutally honest and tell them it tastes horribly. But yeah, I just use the honey to sweeten it. And I don't like the milk. The milk doesn't I don't really particularly enjoy the taste of milk anymore. And the honey really it really tastes good. Yeah. So hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, man. You know, bring you guys different stuff. You know, think outside the box a little bit. And it really tastes good. It really does. It just needs to be chilled a little bit. I'm gonna bottle it up. So I probably get some small bottles like these. I usually save them because the water that I actually drink, the bottles are too big. So the family, they drink the Deer Park and stuff. So I have some empty bottles. I'm just gonna bottle it up, throw them in the freezer, and whenever I want one, I just grab one out the freezer, and I can substitute this for a meal, not for a full meal, but for a snack, and just grab one out the freezer, and you know, if I get hungry, I just knock one out. Healthy for me, and from what I heard, it builds up your sperm count. So hey, if you don't want no babies, you might not want to drink this stuff. You don't want that in the morning, you might not want to drink this stuff. But from my personal experience, I know it works. I knew it worked when I had to stay away from it. So, you know, but my hey, it is what it is, man. Why not? One love. Stay up, stay blessed. We're definitely gonna bottle this stuff up, man. Yeah. Alright, so I have them bottled up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was able to get 5 bottles out of them. So I'm just gonna have them sit here till they completely cool down. They're still a little bit warm to the touch. So you don't want to put them in the refrigerator while they're, you know, you want to make sure they're at least as cool as possible. And when I put mine in the freezer, to save space, I just kind of like squeeze the bottle like this and put the cap on, and that just give you as much space as you possibly can. So if you got, you know, just a little trick that I learned, just kind of squeeze the bottles, you know, not worried about looks, right? Just squeeze them to make them as small as possible. And yeah, this thing really tastes good, man. So yeah, just figured I'll let you guys know. Make sure they cool down as much as possible before you put them in the freezer.